I think most people realize that the human race has reached a crossroads. I'm Graham Hancock. I'm the author of Fingerprints of the Gods, Supernatural, Meetings with the Ancient Teachers of Mankind, and the fantasy adventure novel Entangled. Our culture and the values that drive our culture need to change. Endless growth, endless consumption, endless competition, endless fighting over scarce resources, endless fear, hatred and suspicion, endless pollution. All this makes for an unsustainable way of life. Our home, the biosphere, may seem big and strong, but it's not infinitely big and strong. There are limits to how far it can be exploited solely for our material convenience. We seem to treat the Earth as if it were able to withstand anything that we do, as though the planet were some sort of unbreakable stage upon which human history, in all its belligerent glory, is played out. But cracks, ecological crises, economic crises, political crises are appearing on that stage. This is not new. In past times, other cultures have suffered at the hands of their own insensitive behavior. The ancient Nazca culture of Peru, for instance, the famous civilization of the Maya of Central America, the statue makers of Easter Island. There's growing evidence that these cultures suffered catastrophic collapse at the hands of self-inflicted environmental degradation. We may think that we can live and do exactly as we please, but really, it's Mother Nature who calls the shots. At this juncture of the human story, our choice is clear. What we can call the Earth 1.0 operating system is simply unsustainable. We need urgently to upgrade to a sustainable Earth 2.0 operating system.
I'm Rachel Armstrong. I'm a Senior TED Fellow and co-director of Avatar, an architectural research group, and I specialise in architecture and synthetic biology. The trouble with Earth 1.0 technologies is that they are divorced from ecological considerations. In other words, Earth 1.0 technologies do not behave in ways that are environmentally sensitive. In fact, these technologies are completely alien to the rest of the biospherical system in which they exist. A classic example is our building technologies. Keeping our buildings running accounts for fully 40% of our global energy use. In other words, our buildings are responsible for massive emissions of the greenhouse gas carbon dioxide. To make matters worse, our buildings are made of materials that are inert and lack responsiveness. In other words, when we build a block of flats, we are effectively creating a vast surface area that is passive in the context of its environment. Contrast this to living systems that are sensitive to their environment and can optimize their structure and behavior. Think of leaves that can follow the path of the sun, or blood vessels under the skin that can actively constrict or dilate in response to ambient temperature. In each case, life is responding in a smart way to environmental changes. This is what the Earth 2.0 approach to building entails. A built environment whose surface behaves in a sensitive and lifelike way. For example, by absorbing greenhouse gases, or by modulating its opacity and colour to reflect more or less sunlight, or even by harvesting its own energy.
I'm Melissa Sterry. I'm a futurologist and design scientist, and I research and develop sustainable design systems that transfer knowledge from nature to the built environment. For millennia, human civilization has been affected by changing climate conditions. Indeed, at times, adverse climate change may well have determined the very course of human history. Bearing this in mind, a fully realised Earth 2.0 civilization would consist of cities that, through their specific structure, can respond to major environmental threats in a smart way. Just as certain ecosystems can adapt to seasonal flooding, so too will Earth 2.0 cities be able to absorb harsh environmental impacts. By necessity, this involves a built environment with resilient lifelike features, such as metabolic building surfaces, buildings able to generate their own energy, buildings able to self-repair. Even vertical gardens that will bring agriculture right to the very heart of the metropolis. This is what we can expect to see as the operating principles of Earth 2.0 find expression in our cities.
I'm Tia Kansara, one of the two directors of Kansara Hackney Limited. We design sustainable cities and we promote a sustainable lifestyle. Our world is governed by technology. Technology can be used for good or for ill. Modern high-speed aircraft can deliver explosives, or they can deliver humanitarian aid. Drought-resistant, genetically modified crops can feed people, or, if made sterile, for yearly replacement, they can enslave people to the company that makes them. What ultimately runs our technology is our value system. One set of values will use technology to exploit both people and planet alike. Another set of values will use technology to boost our collective well-being. Earth 2.0 champions the global application of eco-friendly, human-friendly technology. As we all live together under one biospherical roof, no one should be excluded.
My name is Simon G. Powell. I'm the author of The Psilocybin Solution and Darwin's Unfinished Business. Both these books are being published later this year, 2011. I'm also a scriptwriter for Earth 2.0. We urgently need to upgrade our concepts of what life on Earth actually is, because how we view life and conceive of life determines how we live life. Take our understanding of evolution, the process that has shaped life on Earth. The old Earth 1.0 view of evolution is summed up by the catchphrase, the survival of the fittest. Earth 2.0, on the other hand, views evolution as involving the survival of that which makes sense. Because in the long run, nature only preserves and sustains sensible behaviours. Those behaviours like symbiosis and cooperation that improve the art of communal living. Behaviour that doesn't make sense within the context of the larger biospherical system will, eventually, be extinguished. So we can see human culture as being a kind of potential jigsaw piece that can fit into the larger web of life and even strengthen that web. And this is exactly what Earth 2.0 is all about, finding the right way for human culture to persist symbiotically within a biosphere that's already full of symbiotic relationships.
I'm Neil Dunn. I've spent my professional life using sustainability as a mechanism to change the world's largest businesses and their brands. Like ecosystems, individuals, organizations, and countries can evolve and adapt for mutual benefit and collective good. The same is true of the business sector. Indeed, as paradoxical as it may seem, businesses are one of the most powerful platforms that humanity has to utilize for positive change in the face of a biosphere that is in turmoil. If, that is, of course, businesses can rapidly evolve and adapt to the overall needs of the biosphere. The traditional Earth 1.0 approach to business of take, make, and waste is unsustainable and needs to be replaced. Consequently, innovation and collaboration need to be unleashed like never before to deliver a sustainable tomorrow. Businesses must leave behind the insular models of the past and instead adopt an ecosystems approach to growth. Those who do will benefit most from the opportunities inherent in a finite, interconnected biosphere. One of the most important assets that businesses have at their disposal is the power of their brands. For brands, traditionally, opaqueness has reigned supreme. Yet, an important feature of our evolutionary story to date has been a simple understanding of cause and effect which has been enabled by transparency. Transparency is not just a feature of our evolutionary tale, it is also a vital ingredient for an evolving, self-actualizing ecosystem. If businesses are to realize their potential as catalysts for positive change, then transparency must once again be put back into the way a brand operates at corporate, employee, and consumer level. Consumers must see in terms of true biospherical cost what they are buying into, which means that under the Earth 2.0 operating system, it will be the greenest, most philanthropic brands, those most sensitive, most generous to the needs of their overall environment that will thrive. It was one of our greatest exponents for change, Mahatma Gandhi, who said, "You must become the change you want to see in the world." Well, for business, this means becoming an integral part of the ecosystems within which we must evolve.
As people everywhere wake up to the bigger picture and see the need for a radical shift in cultural behavior, the human race will become like the prodigal son or the prodigal species. Nature is calling us back to the fold. The biosphere around us is not some incidental backdrop. It's the very life support system that has borne and sustained the long and epic human journey. The sooner we realize this and become symbiotic with the rest of life's web and with each other, the better. Earth 2.0 is the upgrade we must embrace. We must embrace it positively and with enthusiasm. Only then will we find ourselves truly at home.